A very good evening to all of you. You're watching Tacks with me, Akanksha Swaroop. We're coming live to you from the CNN News 18 Primetime studio presented by Green Lamb Laminates. The final day of the winter session was overshadowed by the fallout from Thursday's face-off between ruling NDA and opposition India bloc members. The end of a tumultuous period characterized by vehement protests, accusations of assault, and a legislative push for simultaneous elections, not to forget even an FIR lodged against the leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi, even as a key bill was also advanced. The session's final hours saw the Lok Sabha swiftly approve a resolution to refer the One Nation, One Election constitutional amendment bills to a joint parliamentary committee. While the Congress continues to accuse the BJP of resorting to diversionary tactics, the issue of Home Minister's remarks on Ambedkar continued to resonate throughout the day, even today. While the charges against the LOP are grave and the violence seems unprecedented, makes us question what is India's parliament reduced to, given that it's the North Star of democracy where parliamentarians must embody the culture of democracy through decorum and discipline. As per the winter session of the Lok Sabha, which saw a series of disruptions over issues ranging from Adani to billionaire George Soros's alleged links with the Congress leadership, as well as Home Minister Amit Shah's remarks related to B.R. Ambedkar, we saw a productivity of 57.87%. Makes us question if both the Treasury benches and the opposition are failing to uphold parliamentary tradition, because the parliamentary productivity is only coming down if we just talk about winter sessions. And there's clearly no room left for deliberation and contemplation. Instead, it's being replaced by violence and aggression. Is this democracy? That's the question we'll be posing to our guests tonight. But before we do that, the other big question everybody is asking is that can Rahul Gandhi be disqualified from the parliament? According to Section 8 of the Representation of People Act 1951, a person convicted of any offence and sentenced to imprisonment for not less than 2 years shall be disqualified from the date of the conviction and shall continue to be disqualified for a further period of 6 years since his release. Remember, this was also the provision under which Rahul Gandhi was disqualified last year after he was convicted by a Surat court for defamation. Rahul was reinstated as an MP after the Supreme Court stayed his conviction, removing the grounds for his disqualification. Also, the BJP has now upped the ante against Rahul Gandhi for alleged parliament ruckus, while Congress has hit back at BJP, calling the assault gate a drama. The BJP is arguing that the recent disruptions in parliament have significantly hampered legislative productivity. They claim that these disturbances have resulted in valuable time being wasted, affecting the efficiency of the functioning of the parliament and the government's ability to deliver on its own agenda. The party blames the opposition, particularly the Congress party, for instigating chaos and slowing down the legislative process. In response, the Congress has accused the BJP of using drama inside the parliament as a diversionary tactic to avoid addressing more pressing issues, particularly the alleged rise of crony capitalism. Congress claims that the BJP is focusing on the disruptions in the parliament to deflect attention from its perceived failures in dealing with economic inequality and corruption. The BJP has also highlighted the physical injuries sustained by 2 of its MPs during the recent ruckus in the parliament. On the other hand, the Congress has demanded the release of CCTV footage from parliament to reveal the true sequence of events. The BJP accuses the Congress of engaging in physical violence during the recent disturbances in the parliament. They claim that Congress members were involved in aggressive behavior that escalated the situation, disrupting the democratic proceedings. Congress, of course, has rejected BJP's claims, arguing that the party is using fabricated allegations to deflect attention from deeper issues. The Congress party contends that the FIR filed against Rahul Gandhi is politically motivated and an attempt to suppress dissent. But where does this leave India's parliament? That's the big question we'll be debating tonight.
राहुल गांधी
आदिवासी बेटी का अपमान नहीं सहेगा हिंदुस्तान।
ये देखिए, आपको शर्म नहीं आती है? ये कुछ नहीं।
राहुल गांधी माफी मांगो, माफी मांगो, माफी मांगो।
पार्टी का डिस्टर्बेंस की वजह से
बाकी मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट का भी काफी नुकसान हुआ है।
लोकतंत्र का गला घोंटना, लोकतंत्र का अपमान, ये कांग्रेस के डीएनए में है और वही परंपरा राहुल गांधी आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं।
This is all a distraction tactic from the main point. The main point is that Dr. Ambedkar has been insulted by the way they have spoken.
परिंदा नहीं फड़क सकता, पंख नहीं मार सकता सीसीटीवी कैमरा में कैप्चर हुए बगैर, और उसके बावजूद बीजेपी झूठ का किला गढ़ रही है।
गुंडागर्दी करते हो।
And with that, let me now introduce our esteemed panelists. I'm joined in by Ms. Pratap Sarangi, who's the Lok Sabha MP from the BJP, Mr. Manikam Tagore, who's the Lok Sabha MP from the Congress Party, Ms. Priyanka Chaturvedi, who's the Rajya Sabha MP from the Shiv Sena UBT, and Mr. Krishna Prasad Tenetti of the Lok Sabha. He's an MP with the TDP. Many thanks to you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining in. Mr. Tagore, the big question I'd like to in fact begin with is that you've been demanding an unconditional apology from the Home Minister and the fact that he should resign. Is the BJP not justified in demanding the same from the leader of opposition?
Good evening. It is we need to understand that Mr. Amit Shah in the Parliament in Rajya Sabha insulted Baba Saheb Ambedkar. The way he spoke about it and the tone he spoke about it is the question. It is in the record of the Rajya Sabha. Anybody can go to the YouTube and check that tone and tenor. And Mr. Amit Shah's words were being very strong, and he insulted Baba Saheb Ambedkar.
But the BJP says that you are twisting and turning the entire comment. It was a 17 clip out of the entire speech that you've been using and taken to the social media platforms.
That is the problem of BJP, because BJP thinks that they can divert anything and everything by these kind of propagandas and dramas what they wanted to do it in the outside the parliament.
So are you saying that the two MPs from the BJP who have been grievously injured yesterday in the premises of the parliament, that is again a diversionary tactic? Your party has even gone on to say that this is drama.
It is a diversion. It is a diversionary tactics. In ICU, you see the person speaking inside the ICU to Prime Minister of India over telephone. Therefore, these are all dramatics, and they wanted to. And every time when you go to meet anybody in the hospital, we will go with fruits. And the BJP friends, ministers went with cameras and gunmen. Therefore, we know that what they are doing.
Pratap Sarangi, I'd like to quickly bring you in. All right, so all those physical injuries which have been very much visible on camera, we've also seen how the leader of opposition in fact turned his back towards those injured MPs. Is this farcical drama?
It's extremely unfortunate that a person of the stature of Shri Manikam Tagore would speak like this. I don't know whether this is the party line and he has been asked to speak like that. See, there are two very senior members of parliament in the RML hospital even now. Yesterday I was in the ICU. I went to see both of them, and we are aware of the fact that they have been injured, and we have the camera pictures and we have the CCTV footages. Now, after having said everything, seen everything, if a member of parliament from the Congress says nothing has happened, it's all drama, I think it's very unfortunate. Let me tell you, yesterday we had expected that Sri Rahul Gandhi ji, Madam Priyanka Vadra ji and Mallikarjun Kharge ji would go to RML and see the patients, see the parliamentarians who had been admitted and ask them as to how they felt. But unfortunately, this never happened. This would have been humane, this was courteous, but this never happened. Then again we saw one MP from Nagaland, a woman MP, an Adivasi MP from Nagaland, speaking before the chairperson of the Rajya Sabha, and whatever she said was definitely unpalatable to people like us.
And that's why I'd like to quickly bring in.
Whatever happened yesterday, which should not have happened, I think Congress has absolutely no reason why it should be talking like that. It's unfortunate.
Priyanka Chaturvedi, when you were leaving the Congress party, you in fact said that the party's policy, the stated policy is not being followed, especially when it comes to women's rights and women empowerment. And yesterday, how do you assess the claim that's been made by the BJP MP from Nagaland?
Actually, I'm amazed that you bring my past history, but since you all are talking about my past history, let me tell you, it was Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia who did not pay heed to the problem I was facing, and today he's in the BJP, he's a minister. I don't usually go into this, but since you began it, I must tell you that he's found his place perhaps for doing what he did with me, and I was left with no other option but to leave the party. That's point one. Having said that, you are comparing my incident with what happened yesterday. Let me tell you, I have known Mr. Gandhi and I have had the opportunity to work with him. He would not try and intimidate any woman by coming in any close proximity as she claims it was. What is equally shameful, and which many women MPs have come forward and said, that as far as her statement is concerned, it is nothing but something that BJP asked her to do much later. Because till then we saw her, after the parliament was adjourned, we all went together to vote for the AIMS Bhubaneswar member of board. We've done that, we were all together. This came as an afterthought, and I have no qualms in saying this. And it's unfortunate that something like this is something so defamatory is being spoken of the leader of the opposition.
But why not
Second
step
thing I want to
forward
tell
and
you
check
here,
it?
since-
Priyanka, that's why
Allow me to complete. Allow me to complete.
Allow me to counter
No,
you.
no, no. 1 second, you're interrupting me. No. Before you counter me, let me just at least let me complete before you run to counter. If something like this has happened, you've seen the footage of Nishikant Dubey screaming at the leader of the opposition. Have you seen it or you haven't seen it? You've seen it. You all must have played it like 1,000 times over. We have not seen any single woman who was standing besides her, across her, near her, say anything or outrage about it. I would be the first one who would outrage if something like that had happened. But what I did see was Mrs. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra being pushed around, Mallikarjun Kharge ji falling down, a CPIM MP falling on him, and he having a knee injury. And last but not the least, there will be a full CCTV footage that should be released as soon as possible, so that all this defamatory accusations coming his way is cleared for good, I would say.
Priyanka has made a valid point that the jostling was happening on both ends, and that is something, Prajita, I'm going to ask you as well about, because clearly, it's not just the BJP which was being attacked. But before I do that, Manikam Tagore, many are also asking this question: why couldn't you as aggressively follow up with the entire procedures as the BJP has done? Your complaint came after the BJP, and which is perhaps also given them an upper hand in this entire case, one that's not even gone ahead with an FIR. It was your party's chief who fell down.
This is a diversionary tactic. We need to understand this is a drama to create a diversion. Mr. Amit Shah has to be saved at any cost. Mr. Amit Shah has done a blunder in the House of in Rajya Sabha, and nobody can erase that history now.
I give you that benefit that it's
parliamentary history.
Even if it is a diversionary tactic, what have you done about this diversionary tactic? I'm talking about BJP
Let me
MP
say,
from Nagaland.
why you are
I'm asking you questions.
I am unable to understand.
Northeast is a part of a country that
you allow me to
you
answer.
are very vociferous
You allow me
about.
to answer. If you allow me to answer, you don't speak like a BJP
But
spokesperson.
no, I'm not. Please
allow me
don't
to
keep
speak.
insulting
You
me
have a
by
question.
talking about my allegiance
You-
with a particular party. But I'm talking about, there's only one thing that
The
you've
way-
been
the-
talking about
the
is
way,
diversionary tactic.
the way you are not allowing me to speak.
Please go ahead.
The way you are not
Please
allowing
go
me
ahead,
to
Mr.
speak and
Tagore.
putting questions, then I'll say that thing only, because you are speaking like a BJP person. You should allow me to speak. Kindly, when you are only invited, I have not come. You people as only invited, allow me to speak. Don't make it as a
Mr.
Lok
Tagore,
Sabha or
I'm
Rajya
awaiting
Sabha
your
thing.
point.
Only
I'm
one-sided
awaiting.
will be
Please
heard.
make the point.
This is not. Please allow us to speak. That is called democracy. It is not. It can't just bulldoze the opposition voices.
Please go ahead.
You have done it to
Please
the
go ahead. Make
Rajya
your
Sabha member
point.
also. Kindly allow it.
Make your point.
you please hear it, have the patience to hear the opposition voices. One is that Amit Shah has done a blunder, and the Prime Minister of India started to tweet 6 tweets to protect Mr. Amit Shah. Amit Shah can't be protected. Amit Shah has done a blunder. He should apologize or he should resign. That's the thing. He is not ready to do it. Instead, they are trying to divert it. They are trying to divert it to the extreme end. They are trying to divert it as if the leader of opposition has done something wrong, which is imaginary, which everybody knows that these are all scripted by Mr. Amit Shah. Because Amit Shah's MPs goes and complains, Amit Shah's police takes the complaint, Amit Shah's police files an FIR. Where it is going to be end? This democracy in Parliament is only serving Mr. Amit Shah's interest. This is the problem of us. Opposition voices want to speak in Parliament. They are not being allowed. Adani issue, we had been crying to say the word Adani, it was been expunged. And outside Parliament, we protested in a decent way for 15 days. 15 days, every day we were having protest outside. Nobody was having any kind of violent incident. After when we took the name of Mr. Amit Shah, with lathis BJP MPs came in. Today also they came in with lathis.
You've heard what Manikam Tagore has to say. This is a diversionary tactic.
See, for the past 3 days, we have been hearing the same kinds of narrative. Now, yesterday what happened is very clear to all the people of the country, if I can say so. See, I was a witness, many of you were there, very much there present, and we knew what happened. Yesterday, there was some peaceful demonstration, sloganeering and placard holding going on by the Bharatiya Janata Party near the Makar Dwar, near the staircase. And at that point of time, around 10:40 a.m., Sri Rahul Gandhi ji and others came. And there was no need at all to go through the peaceful demonstrators, if I can use that expression. There was space, they could have easily gone through that particular vacant space and they would have gone to the Lok Sabha. It was 10:40 a.m. We saw the timing. We were there right from 9:50 a.m. And then let me tell you, just before that, so many number of days, people like us, people from other parties, BJP and the NDA, we would feel very uncomfortable going through the staircase when all these people would be standing there. But we would go through a space either left or right of them, left or right of the group. But yesterday, what happened was something which should not have happened, very unfortunate happening. They went through the peaceful demonstrators, and at that point of time, 2 members of parliament, very senior people,
I will also ask you that question which you have repeatedly, in fact, diverted, which is about why was the opposition confronted yesterday? Why were they being blocked from entering the parliament? That is the big question. Remember, it is the Lok Sabha chairperson who had issued an advisory on 3rd of December, which is that, any unruly behavior or unruly protests will not be permitted in the parliament premises. So it's not just opposition which ought to be questioned for this unruly behavior.
No, let me tell you very candidly that since 9:50 we were all there. They just came and they just barged into the peaceful demonstrators. I reiterate, I underscore. I hope you have heard me. I was very much there. I'm an eyewitness. You can see the camera pictures. And then they tried to go through the peaceful demonstrators. They could have taken the vacant space, either right or left.
Priyanka Chaturvedi wants to make a point. Priyanka, please go ahead.
I think we have been discussing this for the past 24 hours. So many number of times we have discussed this. This should not have happened. Whatever has happened
let me
should not have happened.
Hear what Priyanka is saying. Prajita, give Priyanka also the opportunity to speak. Priyanka.
So, firstly, the question is, will Amit Shah apologize to the lakhs and crores of people who have been hurt by the comments he has made? That is the moot point of this entire protest that happened. Let me tell you one thing. She's admitting it here, that they were there since 9:55 a.m. She's also saying that when they were protesting, we used to go. When we were protesting, we were not blocking your place. We were not blocking your route. We were not coming with placards which had these heavy sticks attached to them and throwing it at your faces and asking you all to respond to comment. We were allowing you the space and the dignity to go and do your work in the parliament. Unfortunately, what happened that day? We've come at 10:40. She herself admits that. From 9:55 to 10:40, you all have occupied a space which should have been allowed to, to be free, allowed for people's movement to happen.
All right, Krishna
Prasad
Tanetti, I want to quickly...
Instead, 1 second, let me just complete.
Yeah, I
Mr.
think
Prasad,
you have given a lot of time to others. You
no,
didn't give
yes,
any
exactly,
time to
which is
me.
why, Mr. Tenetti, thank you so much
Yeah.
for so patiently awaiting your turn. With regards to TDP's full support coming in for one nation, one election, you know, the allegation also is coming in that regional parties are, of course, very dissatisfied with one nation, one election. But the TDP, they say, has been extending its full support because your assembly election is synchronized with the Lok Sabha. How do you, deal with that accusation coming in that you have your own vested interest in extending that support?
Yeah, I think we have two different points of discussion today. Since you have raised
So we
that,
are looking at the winter session in retrospect. It's not just
right? No,
about two different
I
points.
had all the discussions. I'm answering your question straight away. So the first thing is, as far as the simultaneous elections are concerned, we had so many simultaneous elections, even in the combined state of Andhra Pradesh. We all enjoyed it in the sense we saw the benefits of simultaneous elections. I'm also an IPS officer with 35 years of experience. As an officer, also, I have seen the advantages and benefits of simultaneous elections. That is one part. Second part is, as far as my friends who are talking about the diversionary tactics. So let me come to the diversionary tactics. See, what has happened is the narrative is all about Ambedkar, this particular 18th Lok Sabha. It started with Ambedkar, Honorable Ambedkar's contribution. And they also wanted a discussion and a debate in the parliament, in the Lok Sabha particularly, on the constitution. Fine. So what happened is the narrative was always Nehru Ambedkar narrative. In the Nehru Ambedkar narrative, suddenly Congress found itself on the back foot and the carpet is getting pulled out of their underneath their feet. They were in the defense. So they want to divert that Nehru Ambedkar narrative and wanted to discover something else to divert the people's and the nation's attention. Because they found in many incidents and issues,
Right.
Nehru ji has deeply hurt Ambedkar ji. Nehru ji has literally decimated Ambedkar ji. Nehru ji wanted literally to people of India to forget
All right,
Ambedkar. He
Marikam
did so
Tagore,
many
how do
things.
you come back to that point that is being made by Mr. Tenetti? At the same time, you know, critics also believe that the opposition lacked a strategy during this winter session, which has also led to that very least productive session we've seen happen, because they're saying that at one point you were talking about Adani and then you quickly moved to the constitution debate, and now we are looking at the issue of Ambedkar.
We all know that the constitutional debate was the demand of the opposition, and the opposition leaders Rahul Gandhi ji and Rajya Sabha opposition leader Mallikarjun Kharge ji wrote on 24th of November and demanded, we handed over the letter on 26th to the Honorable Speaker and Honorable Chairman, demanding for a special discussion on the constitutional, 75 years of constitution. Therefore, they accepted, government accepted it, and all parties accepted it. We were very eager to participate. We know that they will speak about Nehru. We know that they will speak about 100 times 356. We know that all these things are part of constitution. Therefore, we are not afraid about that good discussion. My TDP friend was saying that the mistake was done by Mr. Amit Shah himself. That was a self-goal by Amit Shah. It was a hit wicket from Amit Shah. He only told about that 11-minute speech. He told things that Ambedkar, 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 Ambedkar. इतना बार बोलते हैं ना heaven में चले जाते हैं. This is the word of Mr. Amit Shah. It is not nobody else's words. Therefore, it is TDP has to be very clear that where they stand. Waqf board, you had asked a question on Waqf board issue where this Waqf bill where they are going to vote. They are going to vote with the government. That is the question they have to answer.
Many are saying that the TDP wanted to also pursue the Polavaram project, even, you know, talk about the bifurcation. Do you think that your party didn't make, do you agree that you did not make enough parliament to push for those issues during this winter session?
We didn't get time, honestly, because the session was disrupted so many times. And every time the honorable members of parliament from India Alliance will rush into the house. They will never allow the house to function. So the regional parties, and forget about regional parties, there are so many, there are as many as 240 members of parliament from regional parties and one single member party. So who is going to listen to their voices? When will they get an opportunity to speak?
All right.
And look at the first time MPs, 281 first time MPs. Look at the lady MPs, more than nearly 100 lady MPs. When will they get an opportunity to speak?
Priyanka Chaturvedi, at a time when the leadership ability of Rahul Gandhi as a leader of opposition is being questioned, how do you think comments like Veer Savarkar wanted the constitution to be superseded by the Manusmriti will go down with the alliance, which have parties like yours, which look up to a personality like Veer Savarkar?
Let me reiterate something we've been saying repeatedly, that as far as India Alliance is concerned, we have different ideas, different ideology, but we are all united in our purpose to safeguard the constitutional morality of this country, to ensure the ideals of Baba Saheb Ambedkar ji with his foresighted vision for the constitution is not just a dream, it's something that we work towards. And secondly is the democracy. We've seen how Maharashtra saw undemocratic ways and unethical ways of how a government was formed. So democracy and constitution for us is supreme. As far as Veer Savarkar ji is concerned, we've made our stance extremely clear, and it could be very different from what the Congress stance is. We will continue to pursue that as a stance. And let me also remind you that India is not an NDA group of alliance where they have to agree to everything that Mr. Modi decides or the BJP decides, and it's like the my way or the highway. We have different ideas, we come with different ideologies, but we are united under the umbrella and the safeguard given by Baba Saheb Ambedkar ji, which is the constitution and democracy.
Out in Maharashtra, would you still say that? Would you still say
Why
that?
Why are you surprised? You don't need to be surprised. No, ma'am. You don't be concerned. You are not a politician. You are not a part of a political party. Please. Allow me to complete.
I'm questioning as a journalist.
Okay,
I've allowed you to complete.
So
you can't keep going on rattling. Here my question also, at a time when you've lost out on Maharashtra, should you be
I think you invited me here.
No, but I have allowed you to speak. You wouldn't let me pose my question at a time when you have
ask a question.
Yes.
Happily answer.
At a time when you've lost out on Maharashtra, would you, in fact, should you even be welcoming statements like this coming from the leader of opposition who actually represents the entire opposition?
One second, ma'am. It's very unfortunate that you're putting words in my mouth which I didn't speak. Firstly, what I told you when you said, oh, it's surprising that you're speaking after coming after Maharashtra loss. That is a concern that I can speak on why we lost Maharashtra, instead of you telling me that you're surprised. Secondly, I did not say I welcome his comments. Please. I said we have our ideas very clear that we are seeking Bharat Ratna for Veer Savarkar ji. Has the BJP announced it? Devendra Fadnavis ji, as soon as he became the chief minister, when Uddhav Thackeray ji went to meet him, he asked for this. Has Congress objected to it? No. Congress is following its ideology. We will follow ours, and we will not have anything to say with regards to what their stance is. Like I said, India Alliance is a grouping of political parties which may have different ideas, but they come under the umbrella of safeguarding the values of the constitution enshrined by our founding fathers.
All right.
Why is it so difficult to understand why you're putting words in my mouth?
All right. Let me just take a counter from Prajata Sarangi on that note. Prajata Sarangi, how do you respond to that? That what has the BJP done for Veer Savarkar A, and where is democracy headed now? These are figures that I'm going to be sharing with you. Under the BJP rule from 2019 till 2024, the parliament productivity of the Lok Sabha has come down from 111% to 52% this winter session. Can we just blame opposition for resorting to these disruptions? What are we left to? Are we just looking at
No,
politics?
I understand your concern. I think this is the concern of all of us. 54.5% is the productivity rate in the Lok Sabha during this session, and 40% in the Rajya Sabha. It should not have happened. We all need to uphold the dignity and decorum of the parliament. It's a combined responsibility to run the parliament. I entirely would agree to this kind of statement made by some people that it is collective responsibility, not only the responsibility of the ruling party. Having said that, let me tell you that as far as Samvidhan is concerned, in 2010, when Prime Minister Modi ji was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, he had started the Samvidhan Gaurav Yatra. And at that point of time, he mentioned that, you know, an elephant would walk with the Samvidhan on its
Aparajita
back
Sarangi,
and the Chief
quickly
Minister would
before
walk
I
along
let
the
you
elephant.
go.
Why am I saying this? No,
They are
please let
saying
me
that
complete.
the BJP is also
Why am I
resorting
saying
to
this?
politics of
He
optics.
said this.
It's not just the violence that's taken place
He
within
said
the
this to
premises of the
ensure
parliament. I'm
that
also
we
talking
have
about
to
the bag.
honor and protect the
bag that you
constitution.
have gifted
And
Priyanka
as far
Gandhi
as
today,
Shri B.R.
Aparajita
Ambedkar ji is
Sarangi,
concerned,
I want to
Bharatiya
ask
Janata Party
you, are
always
you also
had
diverting from
lot of
the
regards
issues?
and respect for the father of the constitution.
Aparajita Sarangi, let me quickly ask you about
Who
that
you
bag.
speak or I speak?
No, I'm asking you before I let you go. What was the need
Sorry?
to gift that? What was the need to gift that back to Priyanka Gandhi? Many are saying that there was
Yes,
a conscious
good.
effort
Now I
behind
hear
the
you.
timing.
I hear you.
Timing, as far as the timing is concerned.
Priyanka
because
Gandhi
Delhi
ji is
elections
very
are
keen
close
to
by.
have to carry bags, and every time there is something very interesting written on the bag. Today, on the last day of the parliament, we just thought we should gift her a bag with something written on it that would convey a very strong message. And you know what the message was, 1984 riots. And let me tell you that the present generation of the Congress leadership should be made aware of the historical errors that the Congress has committed in its rule of 55 years. And that was the message. All historical errors are being corrected by Prime Minister Modi's government, one after the other. Article 370 goodbye, 35A goodbye, triple talaq bill we brought
if
and
only
we passed.
bags gifted by you or even the ones carried by Priyanka Gandhi could correct those historical errors, I think our parliament would also be a better place as far as representing itself as the temple of democracy is concerned. Many thanks to you, Aparajita, Priyanka, and of course the gentleman for joining in on Brass Tacks. And with that, we now shift focus over